Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John from Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV. So, we're gonna have kind of a quicker show than normal today. I do have to teach. I have an instructor who is out sick today, so I'll need to cut us short here at about 8:50 so I can prepare for class this morning. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into content today and skip. Well, we'll do the normal announcements just to kind of get them out of the way, but that's not the point here today. I want to get right into team play. So actually, that's not where I want to be. I want to be on the announcements page. The announcements. Hold on. There we go. All right. So our regular string of announcements is going to be this. DiceCon and one thing to note too here. Jeremy put this out yesterday on his channel. If you're going to go to DiceCon, if you're at Color Up and you're registered for the DiceCon, make sure that he's got an RSVP form that basically asks you like where you're staying. What event, he's got all these events planned, and they're optional events. It's like touring the different museums around town, that kind of thing. But RSVP to those things because they're trying to get head counts specifically for the crawl. We're gonna do a craps crawl on Fremont Street. We're gonna go to like every casino for like 20 minutes, whatever we're doing. And they want to know how many they can expect. So if you're gonna go, hit the RSVP form. That's a request directly from Jeremy himself. Reminder also, get on the Discord at Casino Gaming. We have had a couple of good conversations out there. It's starting and stopping and starting and stopping. So I know that Kevin Farm wrote me a text last night. I didn't see it until late last night. So I'll work with you today and get you in there if you'd like to. And I think that's really about it. So I know, Joe, welcome and good night. I think you work the late shift, I think. So appreciate you being here this morning, of course. All right. With that said, let's jump into content here. I want to talk, and I want to kind of recap a little bit of what we did the last couple of days on team play, and then we'll jump in and play a little bit. Last night, by the way, I actually ran a strategy. I'm not sure if you caught the live stream, but I ran 4 players at once. I'm going to do it again here this morning. It'll take me a minute to get the board set up, to get the screen set up for that. But yeah, I did 4 strategies as a team last night, and I kind of followed, I think, a pretty good little rhythm there. So, but anyway, let's recap where we were and then jump in because there was a little bit of confusion, not confusion so much as folks wanted me to clarify a couple of important points. So here's what I'm going to clarify for you, especially with the team agreement stuff. We talked a little bit mostly yesterday, about handling profits, right? And how does your team split their profits? If there are profits, right? Is it an even split, right? Did you tier your split based on your profit share is based on how much you bought in for it initially? Is there no split? Are we just taking $1,000 a week or whatever we're doing? When do we settle up? After every session? Do we settle up every month? Do we settle up at the end of the year as a big dividend? It's really things that I think got to be called out. If you're doing team play, these are the kind of things that we have to make sure that we're talking about as we go through the process of getting the financial agreement set up. I think that's actually kind of an important bit to this that could be lost in the shuffle, right? If it's too much on the fly, and that's why I keep saying run it like a business, because if it's not spelled out, you're going to have hurt feelings, and we don't want to have that if we can help it. An example of handling profits looks like this. One way of doing it, of course, where you've got 4 people on a team, and the percentages there are based on how much they bought in for to start the team. So let's say that one person bought in for, I don't know, $4,000, and one person bought in for $10,000, and 2 people bought in for $2,500 each. That's the team bankroll is $10K. This is their ownership stake. So what you could do is say, well, at the end of the day, let's say we win $1,000 as a team on the table. You split $250 of that, 25% of that, evenly amongst the 4 players. So they all enjoy the same level of kind of the spoils of the day, and then 40% of the money you do a tiered split on, where the $400 out of the 1,000 gets split between the players based on their percentage of ownership. So of course, some people get more of that than less, but again, that's based on percentages. And then you put $35 back in the master bankroll. And again, I'm picturing a team operating a master bankroll where every trip that they go, that's the money that we pull out and play with. So I'm picturing that in my head. Now, there's going to be losses as well. And I think we got to talk about how do we handle losses? Because losses represent a reduction in master bankroll. Let's say the team bought in for $10K. Everybody puts up their money. We have $10K in the master bankroll. We take $5,000 to the bank or to the casino. We play with $5,000. and the team stop loss is 2,500 and we hit the stop loss, right? What happens then? Well, clearly we reduce the master bankroll, right? You put the leftover back in the bank, right? Now the bankroll is 7,500 instead of 10,000. So next time you go, you have either less money to play with, or you're just reducing your bankroll, which is going to happen. I recommend highly that we log the losses. Log your loss. Every time you go, log your loss as a team, each person at their tiered rate. So if the team bought in for 5,000 and we lost 2,500, but my stake was 10%, I'm logging a $250 loss. And that's how you kind of do that. You got to log everything. Note your casino location, the table number you were at, the date you were there, and the amount of your loss. Each person has to do that individually because the IRS will allow you to deduct your gambling losses up to and equal to your gambling wins. So they're going to let you break even basically. But if you don't log it, you can't deduct it, and it is deductible. I think that the team should set reinvestment plateaus and amounts too. So if we started with 10,000, if our master bankroll as a team reduces down to say 60%, everybody's got to pony back up again because you want to have that buffer zone. But again, that's got to be handled by your team. And I think the team has to handle its profits well and its losses well, and set goals and limits, I think, as a team. And that's got to be part of the agreement. I think if you don't agree on this stuff ahead of time, you're going to have all kinds of problems later. We want to avoid the problems. This whole talk is about us avoiding problems. And that's kind of what I want to get us into here is how do we avoid those problems and keep things kind of fair and on the up and up. So with that said, let's jump into game planning. This is why we're all here. Everybody wants to know, how do you play as a team? How do you play the table as a team, right? And that's what I want to talk about this morning a little bit. And I got a few slides to get through here that'll kind of get us talking about things the right way and thinking about things, I think, the right way. And then I'll play a little bit here at the table for you. So here's my thoughts. We've got strategies, and I think you've got to categorize your strategies. And we talked about this the first day we talked team play. I brought this slide up. I'm bringing it back. Know your strategies for what they are, right? You've got purely dark side strategies. Don't pass with odds. I'm playing that one today, actually. You've got hybrid strategies, such as the horseman or the odds maker. I'm playing the horseman again today like I did last night. You got purely right side strategies like the Butterberg, like a tiered regression, both of which I'm playing today. I think we're going to try and segment out our play today by different topics, right? Different types of play, 4 people, 4 different strategies. And I think that you have to think about, before you go out there, what's going to be our team's playing style, right? What's our playing style? Are we going to ladder? Because frankly, if you're going to ladder, then one person needs to have more money, right? And I think here's and Greg meant this point exactly. This is not a team member with a different buy-in at the table. So what I mean by that is this: your buy-in to the team. Let's say we're going to form a team, and as a team master bankroll, we each put in different amounts, whatever the amounts are. Like I said, maybe it's 4,000, 1,000, and 2,500. If that's the case, the master bankroll is 10K, and we're bringing 5K to the casino. I'm just using pretend numbers here. If that's the case, the person who bought in for the least amount of money, me, I bought in for $1,000, right? I may get the most money at the table because I may be the person chosen to play a ladder system, and because I'm really good at it, right? But I need 3,000 out of the 5 to play the ladder. So I bought in for less, but I'm getting the most money at the table, and because I'm playing that way. And remember, it's a shared bankroll at the table. We're just doing different things with the money. So you may be in control of more money during game time, and that's why I said the agreement is so important, right? The agreement up front is your percentage of ownership in the profits is X. Your responsibility at the table is Y. Those two are not mutually exclusive. They've got to be different for sure. So that said, what's our playing style? Are we laddering? Can 2 people ladder or can 1 person ladder? How much bankroll do we have? If you're laddering, that person who's doing it has to be a smaller buy-in or a smaller minimum bet size to make it work. You got to know that ahead of time. What's our leeway on center action? Came up yesterday. What if one person decides that they're feeling it and they're going to do the see a horn, bet a field thing every time that's not part of the strategy, right? If I'm playing the Butterberg today, I'm not going in the center action stuff. I'm doing the Butterberg, right? I'm not allowed to do that. You got to call that out ahead of time. Who's doing what? Maybe only the shooter plays the ATS and everybody else doesn't. Maybe the shooter plays ATS and your one dark side player is the guy that lays the point, the last point, right? Maybe that's how you do this. You got to think about who's putting money where. and who's allowed to do what. Because if you don't put constraints on things, people will go crazy. The failure of a team, in my view, could be rogue players, and you cannot go rogue. Last night I played this out, and everybody looked at my rack and said, oh my God, you should have. And I said, no, I shouldn't have, because the rules were the person who was playing the Iron Cross was going to take 3 hits and come down, no matter what. And yeah, he missed out on a roll that was like 9 long. We came down because that was what the team agreed on. The other person pressed 3 times and then came back. I think he pressed 3 times. I forget what the rules were last night, but I made each player stick to the rules exactly. Because if you don't do that as a team, if one person goes rogue or doesn't follow their plan and goes off script, everything goes to hell. This only works if everybody's on point. And I think that's got to be, I think it's an important piece of this. So what do we do when we hit goals, right? If the team has got a 20% goal and I as a player hit my 20%, which means, all 4 players should hit 20%. If I hit my goal early, do I stop playing, right? Do I go short stack? Do I go short stack and half rack? Do I go color up? Do I bet a little bit until it's my turn to shoot? What do we do in the case that somebody hits 20% quickly? That's got to be called out too. I think ahead of the run, you got to know that, right? What is the plan if somebody gets there quick? And let's say you get to exactly 20% and don't have a short stack. Are you done? Or are you putting half of your 20% at risk again to go back out? That's got to be decided amongst the team for all the players. I think it's really important that you talk about it. And again, how rigid is that going to be? That's the thing. How locked in is that plan? Got to be called out. If we don't call this out, ahead of time, you're going to have a bad time about it. And again, I'm not trying to be jerky about this. I'm telling you that even in your marriage, if you don't call this kind of stuff out in your marriage, you're going to have a problem, right? Like these are the things that I'm talking about this in craps terms, but when you run an actual business, when you run a marriage, when you run a family, when you run anything, these things are the same things that you talk about there, because who has leeway? Where is the money being spent? How much do we have? What's our stop loss on this? What's our credit limit? All those things matter, right? In any business or any family unit. So I think the life lessons that I'm talking about here, from experience, by the way, I think are important. So there's that. What else do we have to talk about? We have to talk about, what are we going to play? What are we going to play? Now, here's where it gets interesting. The ratios of how we play. I think the stylistic ratios are an important thing to think about. How do you mix it up? Do you do 1 dark, 1 light, 2 hybrid? Do you do 2 darks, 1 light, 1 hybrid? Do you do 1 dark, 2 light, 1 hybrid? How do you mix up your money on the table? You don't want to overhead yourself, right? But I think it's important to have the right ratio between the types of players that you've got based on how you're going to play. Now today, I think I'm too heavy on the light side. Today, you'll see what I'm doing here. I'm going to do a don't pass with full odds. And I've got a Butterberg and I've got a tiered regression that are both coming in at huge bankrolls. I don't have enough on the dark side today. My ratio is actually leaning light, where yesterday I leaned more black, leaned more dark. So I think we're going to see, if my roll doesn't go well today, this team that's out here is going to get their ass handed to them. We'll see how that works out. But I think the ratio of who's doing what on your team is good. I don't know that necessarily it's going to be 2 and 2. I think you can have a little bit of hybrid to balance out heavy dark, hybrid light, or 2 heavy lights, a hybrid, and a heavy dark. Something like that. You got to think about that ahead of time, though, and what your strategies look like. And again, I believe that strategies definitely can complement. Today, I'm going to do something that I think is going to not complement. I'm doing it on purpose. I want you to see how this plays out. I believe in this thing, stylistic choices. You have come bet plus place bet. I think one person on the place bets, one person doing come bets, that's a great compliment, because they're going to win at different times and at different rates and for different reasons. Today, I'm going to do this middle one, the regress to press and a short-term all-in. We're going to do basically a Butterberg, 2 hits and down for one player. The other player is going to do a tiered regression, so 2 hits to regress and then press back up again. That person is going to be aggressive. The Butterberg person is designed to win 20% on every single hand. That's all he's doing. When he's going to be stabilizing force if we get a couple of rolls, right? Dark side player, progression plus ladder, plus a rolling DC, right? Or is it a late progression? I think having 2 players that are in don't come, don't pass situations are problematic. but a player who's doing a lay progression or a traveling lay along with a don't pass player, that could be an interesting play on the dark side. So that's what I'm thinking about in terms of getting your heads around ways that we can ratio who's playing what today. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go to the table here in a minute. Let's see. I'm gonna go to my table view, and I gotta make one change here real quick, so bear with me. I'm gonna go to the wide view here, and I forgot to do it before we started, so it'll take me a second here to get this done. But I'm gonna add a little bit of text. We're gonna say Butterberg, whoops. You get to watch me code here a little bit. So there's the Butterberg. The Butterberg player is gonna be, the Butterburger is gonna be right here in front. He's gonna do 160 across, and he's 160 across and $100 don't. This guy up here is gonna do, whoops, come on. He's gonna do a $480 tiered regression. This guy over here, wow, that's maybe a little bit too big. He's gonna be the don't pass. Whoops. And this guy down here, of course, is going to be the horseman. There we go. That's going to be our 4 players today. The horseman's going to play at the $25 and $10 level, so a really light bankroll horseman. The don't pass with odds guy is going to play a $25 don't pass with max odds, or tiered odds. We'll do kind of like the odds based on the point kind of a thing. And the regression and Butterberg guys are going to do what they're going to do. So there's that. Let me turn the light on. And again, we'll get some play in here. I got about 25 minutes or so to play before I have to leave for work. So let me get the light on. Let's get it started. And here we go. The only player who's going to be on the line here, the don't pass with odds guy is going to be, of course, on the dark side. And the horseman will also be on the don't pass. Everybody else is bypassing the come out roll. We could do this where these guys, I'm sorry, the $100 for the Butterberg guy. These folks could be on all the time. In fact, the guy who's playing the tiered regression could be on the whole time. He's going to be at big risk. This is 480 across right here that we're going to do for him. Let's actually have him work. Let's have him work the come out roll, and let's have the Butterberg guy not work the come out roll. And that way it'll be kind of interesting and fair. So 480 across, that's going to look like the $75 level on every single bet, like so. With $20 and change coming back. So this guy here is going to be essentially all in on every single roll. He's going to go, and we're going to go from 480 to 360, 480 to 320 to 160, and then we're going to press up. He's going to take 2 hits down, and we'll show a profit if he gets down to base, and then he's going to press up. This guy needs 2 numbers to roll, or he's going to get smoked the whole time here. So that's going to happen. He's got 2,000. 2,500. He has $2,500 to this guy over here. The Butterberg player's got 260 times 5. So he's a little over $1,000. The horseman's got 5 shots at $65, and the don't pass player's got $1,000, $1,500. So we're going to use that as our base. Here we go, coming out. And our first shot is a 5, a 4. Oh, that rolled off the wall. That rolled. That was a 4-1-5. That's going to be our point. It's going to be a 5. So the across player here, he's going to get paid $105 on that $75 5 as it gets hit. Okay, and he's going to bring everything down 1 level. He's going to tier regress himself down 1 level after each of the first 2 hits, like so. He's going to bring this all back. So he's out for 480. He's bringing back. Did I bring too many back? He's bringing back already 270, coming back to the rack. So he's working his way back to health on that first hit. The second hit will get him even. Butterberg player here, is going to come out. He's going to be, actually, this guy here should be in the back. If I'm setting my setup right. This guy here is going to be at 160 across. Looking for 2 hits and to come down. The Butterbird guy needs 2 hits and down. This guy needs 1 more hit. He's going to be in profit, and then he can work his way up. And our horseman is going to come through with a come bet. I'll put it over here for 10 bucks. The don't pass with odds guy, which is going to be the first don't pass here on a 5. We're going to put 75 in odds on that 5. Like so. We're going to spread these guys out. And that's how it's going to work. There it is. There's our setup. Let's get some rolls in here. And if I screw this up, I'm looking at chat. So if I have some issues, then I need y'all to let me know. There's going to be a 10, a 6-4, 10. So the Butterbird player, I'm not going to do VIGs. He's going to get 50 bucks, and the 10 comes down. And again, I'm going to move the money that we earn here. I'm actually going to reset him from the front, and then you'll see how this works. He gets 10 and down. This 10 here is going to get paid 100 and come down. And so that player is working here. And again, we're going to put his money in the back of the rack to get him reset. And we're going to reduce, oh, sorry, he stays up. He's going to then bring everything down to one unit. So the tiered regression guy took his 2 hits. He's down in his rack, right? He goes back to his rack, and he is basically set back up again. Okay, he's got, and we'll prove it to you, 100, 200, 300, 400, 75, 480. That's the next shooter. He's earned his money back. This here, plus what's out here on the table, is profit for that player. He's already in profit. The Butterbird player has brought back a little bit of money, but not enough to show profit yet. This come bet's going to move into the 10 for the horseman, and he's going to come back out with a second come bet. The horseman player will not be playing with odds today. There's a hard 4. All right, so the Butterbird player is going to take that hit, and everything comes down. He's done. Butterbird is done. The come bet moves to the 4. So the Butterbird player, again, I'm going to reset his rack again to be 150, 160. There's the 160 he had out there. This 100 bucks is that 100 bucks. So this player has earned all of his money back. The Butterbird player has $100 on the don't pass, and he's even. He can let this ride, or he can go ahead and place the 5 for like 75 bucks. You place the 5 for 75 bucks, you're booking the house. You're either going to win a quarter or you're going to win 5 bucks. That's a choice that the Butterbird player can make, or he can sit here and let that bet ride out. He's in good shape either way. This player up here, now that they're at the 160 level, that pays 50 bucks. This guy is going to now start pressing things up, and he's going to go ahead and press. Let's go press the 5 and the 9. He's going to press his way inward from the outside. So he's taking a hit, and we're working our way up to the black level before we start collecting in here. Okay, here we go. Last come bet's coming out. And we're on the 5. That's the point of 5. This guy should have probably hedged that point, chose not to, and everybody down here loses the don'ts. So the don'ts all go away. The come bet moves into the 5. Puck is going to be off, but that 5 up there does pay 70 bucks. So this guy back here with a $70 5 is going to press the 6 and the 8 to 60 each and take 10 bucks back to his rack. And again, he's going to keep working because he has no line bet. The 3 come bets for the horseman are up. That horseman guy lost. He lost his don't pass. He's not going back out. This player here is perpetually going to go out. We're going to ladder him up to 1 level higher. And again, the Butterbird person's done until the next shooter. So we're going to let the next shooter, we're going to wait till a 7 for the Butterbird player to go back out there again. Here we go. New point coming. 8, 6, 2, 8. Point will be 8, which the don't pass players don't love. We're not going to take any odds for this player here on the 8. Nobody else is on the don't. Everybody else is ignoring that. This person here is going to get paid another 70 bucks. And we're going to press the 6 and the 8 both to 90. They will now collect sorry, they will now collect 105 each, should they come out and win. This person here is showing profit again. He's got himself ready for 105 in here. We're gonna try and get these two pressed up to get 100. That's the goal here for that player. The horseman is just waiting it out. He's gonna let stuff happen until we see a 7. There's a 6, 4, 10. That's beautiful. That pays 50 bucks. Again, 5 and 9 go to 75. Now all 4 of these collect 105 for this player. Another outside hit, we're gonna be in great shape. There's aces. Aces, aces, nothing happening there. There's an 8, a 6, 2, 8, pays 105. 105 here in the middle. That's great. That's a nice collect. We're gonna probably same bet in here for each of those and then press them up the following. Another 8, so again, it's 105. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pay the 105 in greens, and I wanna get the 4 and 10 each up to 50. Now everything in here is collecting black. There we go, that guy's doing very well for us. 3, 2, 5, sweet, another 105. Can do this all day long, really. There's 105 on that 5. We're gonna rack the black, come in here. That comes in and gets paid. So the horseman is working his way back to health over here. He, did I not pay him on the 10? I didn't pay him on the 10, my fault. Sorry, he gets paid in that 10, the horseman does. All right, he's got only a 4 left down here. The horseman, I think, might want to come back out and play a little bit more. He's got his that 25 bucks is basically his line bet, and he's got 1 come bet recovered and 1 come bet live. He's gonna come back out again and get playing and get some action here. Hard 4, beautiful. So that's gonna be a payment for the horseman right there, off and on. That's gonna pay 100 on the end. I'll pay it with a black. A cool hundo, and he's in the rack and rolling. Good roll here. The Butterberg player really should be back out there, but again, the way we're playing it is we're gonna wait the 7 out, and that's gonna be it. So there's a 5-1-6, that's your point. That's gonna pay 105 again for this player. This guy's rocking it. Puck will be off. This come bet will move into the 6. We're gonna go ahead and drop odds on that as the horseman. We're gonna take that extra quarter we won earlier and throw odds up on the 6 as a way to kind of Johnny up the horseman. Instead of going to the don't pass, this is gonna lose, by the way. So the don't pass player now is gonna hit to 3 units down here. I feel like the Butterberg guy wants to get in really bad, but I'm gonna stay disciplined here and not bring him in until the 7 shows. We said 2 hits and down, and that's what we're gonna live with. And there's our 7, which crushes all the souls, right? Everything comes down. The horseman gets his butt kicked up there. Both come bets come back. This was all profit, so it's okay to lose it. Not that it's okay to lose ever, but that player did really well for himself. And there, we're back in the action again. So player in the back with the 480. This back here, by the way, all profit. And we can actually go ahead and get a color up here real quick because I want to get these chips back in my dealer rack. So there's 75 bucks, there's 100, so it's 150 coming back for this. And that's actually the 5 blacks become the purple. He's collected a purple chip for the team, plus 30. Not a bad first hand for that player. That's actually was a very complimentary roll for him. Did pretty good. We're gonna, the interesting thing is this, right? He's at 20%. This guy's at 20%. He was 2,500 in. He's got, a $550 win. He's there. This guy, technically speaking, should be done, right? These 2 players are both down. This player is exactly even, right? If you're in this position, what does the team do? What does the agreement say? The agreement says the team needs to be at 20%. We're gonna go back out here and risk this. We're gonna put our 480 at risk again and do this a second time against my better judgment, but that's what the team decided to do. So let's follow directions and we'll do a 480. Let's see, I think I'm missing something. I got to get to here. How did I miscount that? I miscounted somewhere. This guy had 480 in the front. Don't know where I miscounted. I'm going to pull it from here. I'm like $25 light, but I don't know how I went light. Anyway, he's ready to go. Butterbird guy is coming back out with 100 on the don't. His 160 across will go out once we get a point established. The don't pass player is now going to ladder up to 100 because he has to. And the horseman is going to be on a new shooter, a new set of money. So I'll put this back in the back of the rack and we'll kind of cycle that through as we go. So the line bets are all active. This guy's working to come out. Butterbird player is not working to come out. There's a 628 for the point. 628. There we go. That's going to pay 105 out of the gate, plus we've regressed down. Okay, he regresses down, plus his 105. And again, it's going to the back of the rack. We're gonna manage this cycle for him through the back of the rack. The Butterbird is gonna go out now at 160. The horseman comes out with a comeback. On a point of 8, we're not going to take any odds for this player here. He's actually getting kind of low down here. We're not going to take any odds on that 8. Let it play out and see what happens. There she is, right? This is a bummer, right? 527. Butterbird gets crushed. And the guy that I said shouldn't have went out and got crushed, right? This is where I think the team agreement thing comes in place, where we should be saying things like, once a player reaches goal, that player ought to be done. That player ought to be done. That, by the way, 628 you see in the middle there, that rolled. That was a 7 that rolled as I brought the dice in. So those all go away. This comeback gets paid for the horseman and comes back. His quarter gets paid. So he actually is back to where he's showing at least he's even. 2, 4, 6. He's $10 down, not a big deal. This guy here finally gets a win. Okay, and this Butterbird player gets a win. He never gets a collect, so he's down. He's down by $60. 100 did not cover the 160. He's down $60. This player over here, though, is back in the fight again. Finally, he actually showed some resilience and is laddering up. Helped him get to here. Now, I have time, I think, for one more play, do I? I have time for one more quick shooter that we can get it set up with. So we'll come out here again with a new 480 for this guy here. We'll set him back up. And I'll do this as fast as I can. I know I'm not the greatest dealer here, but we're gonna roll this out here. 480. I think the good message of this, honestly, is I love the fact, well, I don't love the fact that we lost, but I love the fact that this guy won like $550 on the first one, and you're feeling great about yourself. And what happens immediately after that is an ass kicking. He comes right back out of that and just gets whacked, right? And I don't love that my player got whacked on my team. I love that you get to see that happen because that happens. This guy here is going to go ladder back down to 4, by the way, or to 3, by the way. I love the fact that it happened because it does make Greg's point and everybody else. But the game, you got to be in for the short game, number one, and you cannot. A long roll does not predict another long roll. It does. One doesn't beget the other. It just doesn't work that way. Everything is going to happen in as it's supposed to. Here's a 9 again for 105. And that regression down, the tiered regression, we're going to go down 1 level on all the bets. So he's bringing back about half of his outlay on that bet. So here we go, back to the rack he goes. He's in. Butterbird player now comes out for 160. The horseman comes out for his comeback. On on a point of 9, this player here is going to lay, we're just going to lay 75. We're not going to go crazy. We're going to lay 75 to win 150 and be light about it. I could go, 3 times my flat bet if I wanted to. I'm just not going to do that. Here we go. Coming out, next number in the series will be a 4, a 3, 1, 4. So the horseman's come bet will move into the 4. The player in the back, that 4 is going to pay 100 back here. And all the bets come down to the base level. This guy now is in profit. So 2 times out of 3, he did okay and made himself some money for the team. So that's good. This guy here is doing well today. The Butterberg player is going to get paid 50 on that 4. And it's going to come down. And I'll move that to the back of the rack. Now, at this point, if I actually take this, well, I'll take care of that later. We'll clean it up in a minute. All right, next one, comeback's coming out for the horseman. And it's an 8, 6, 2, 8, 8 easy. So the Butterberg, again, 35 bucks, and he's down. He's down completely, 2 hits and down. And if you're doing the math, that's 2 $35 hits, right? He's out for 100 and 160, so 2 $35 hits, 70 bucks is 20% of what his output was, right? He's back. And if we put this in the rack, there's 150, 160. There's the 160 that he's out, minus his don't pass. So the don't pass is the thing that he's, I'll actually move this to the front. There's a complete shooter back in the rack for him. He's got 4 complete shooters, plus this, plus what's out there. This guy could, again, could come out, the 10 bucks comes from, I forget where the 10 bucks came from. I'm going to put it in the bank. I don't know where that goes. This does go to the 8 though. At this point, this guy, like he's at 20%. We could come out here and place the 8, right? We got $100 in the don't. You could put 90 bucks on the 8 and basically hedge that don't bet, right? Make that thing a $10 winner here or a $5 winner here, or let the 7 sing. I'm going to let the 7 sing and not trying to hedge that thing out. I could pull it back and prove a $100 profit, right? I can guarantee myself a $100 profit right here by hedging it out. Maybe that's the best way to go because he's gotten beat twice. Maybe we'll go ahead and we'll put a $90 8 out here. Let's put it from the front. We'll do a $90 8 for him just so you can see how this works. He bets the 8 for 90 bucks, which means he's going to basically guarantee himself $100 in profit for the shot. That's totally fine. Horseman has one more comeback coming. Here we go. 6-5 yo, great. He wins that. Back to the rack that goes. I'm going to let that one come through. 5-1-6. All right, that goes to the 6. And he's got his 3 comebacks. Our player in the back is going to get paid 35 bucks. And as before, we'll take the 25 in nickels. And I'm going to press myself up a little bit. I'm going to bring both the 6 and the 8 up to 42. They'll both pay 50 for 1 here. And we're set. Let's play to the 7, then I got to go to work. There's a hard 8. All right, so the 8 comes. Actually, we'll stop here because that's a good time to call it. This guy is going to win 10 bucks on the come. I'm going to bring his bets back to the rack just because I need to get everything out. Now, these 2, the don't pass players today, no bueno. They got nothing out of the day. This is going to pay 105. This is going to lose. So the Butterberg player pushes on that bet, but it guarantees him a victory. So there's one. There's the 160. That shooter's good. His back shooter is good. So the Butterberg player actually showed. I'm going to break this down for you into quarters. And 1 set of nickels so you can see where he is. The Butterberg player, 150, 160. So there's his starting bankroll. He actually is up by 115, which is good. This player here is up by a whole bunch. This player here did really, really good. Let me get a quick color on him so we can see where he stands. 2, 3, 4, 450. There's another 50. And all the money out here is also this player's money, and it's all good. Okay, and there's another quarter. So this guy over here crushed it. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 bucks over there. So there's $500 for those, 3, 4, and 100 for those greens, and he's back. So look at him. He did okay. That kind of carried the water for us today. So just like last night, one player sort of carries the water for the team, and here's the initial buy-in, right? There's his initial buy-in, and there's $1,000 in profit for that one player. The rest of this here goes back to the house. He actually has those two, 120. He did good. The Butterberg player, $15 profit. Great. The Horseman, not so great. He lost. He's actually, I think, if I put this here, he might actually be exactly even. Par for the course for the Horseman, right? He actually is. He's like $10 down. Interesting. There's his 25. There's 15 out of the 30. He's $15 down. This guy got his ass kicked. The Don't Pass player got his ass kicked. There's 1,000, 1,200 out of 1,500. He lost about 400 bucks. So essentially this covers that, and the team is up by about 500 and change, roughly speaking, without doing all the detailed math. That's where they ended up. Not bad. We showed a profit as a team. Again, one player got whacked. Everybody else did okay. One player hung in. One player got whacked. Two players did okay. Not a terrible outcome today. Not what I wanted. I was hoping that the Don't Pass players would have done something, but they didn't win one time, I think, all day. So there's that. All right, let's come back here and talk to you about all the things. Show presentation. All right. All right, so that's that. Let me go back one screen. We can look at what we did here and look at the ratio that we did. So our stylistic choices today were one dark side player, one hybrid player, two light side players. One of the light side players won really good. The other one played so conservative, right? We did the Butterberg, and it's like 2 hits down, and had I hedged the point on the first one, that guy would have won 200 bucks, 20%, done, right? That's a beautiful strategy. It works great when it works like that. Matter of fact, that 0.7 out is what hurt the other guy. Not for that, he would have been great. So I think, again, ratioing what you're doing, ratioing how the players are playing, sticking to rules, I think is where we're at. I think that was a good thing. I'm gonna do a quick scan of the chat, make sure there's nothing I missed that y'all want to talk to me about, and then I got to go to work. So let's see. Oh, cool. I love this. There's going to be you and Vince and Waylon want to be in on the team play. Are you guys going to be a team of your own? Is that what's going to happen? The way it's going to happen is we're going to make a league, right? And the league is going to be called the Casino Gaming TV Craps League. And you're going to make a team like the Falcons or whatever you want to call it, 4 people that you want. And every week we're going to have probably 4 teams playing against each other. We're going to do like Falcons against the Raiders and the so-and-sos against the so-and-sos, and we're going to pare it down. So if you're going to make a team, that's great. Just get with me on Discord or email. Let me know how it's going to work. On points in for the team thing, that's great. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Crypto. When I'm at the table, I can't see the screen. I can't see where the chips are. So I apologize for that. I'll make sure I'll spread them out the next time we do this. Let's see. Yeah, and I think you're right, Fives. The group goal, and again, that's what I was saying before. What's the group's goal, right? That one guy won so much early, the group could have been out of there, and that would have been great. This one here, I rolled the dice. I think when I pulled off the back of the rack, I rolled them, and it was a 7. I turned it into an 8. So there you go with that one. And I'll check for quick questions in case I missed something. Did I miss anything payment-wise today? I don't think I made too many mistakes. So that's fun. It's really hard, by the way, and I said this last night on the live stream, it's hard, and I give all the props to Chris at Sideshow. Dealing 4 people is hard. Like, dealing is not hard. It's the making their bet decisions and putting their stuff where it's got to go in real time and keep it all straight. That's really hard to do. Chris does a great job of that. That's my second time doing it with 4 people like this, and keeping the money straight. And that's a challenge. It's a challenge. So I appreciate you guys putting up with me through that. But anyway, that's it. That was my that's today's team play. We'll do again tomorrow. I'll probably jump right in tomorrow and start playing. I'm going to pick some more strategies tomorrow. Again, jump into Discord. Tell me what you want to see strategy-wise. We can now start playing around with what are the complementary strategies. I think, again, I like comebacks playing off of place bets. I like different don't styles. So maybe tomorrow I'll do a traveling lay and some sort of other don't pass strategy. So we'll see. Fun stuff. Team play is interesting and fun, and I think, especially for the Craps League, I think it's going to be even more fun. So there's that all. I got to go to work. You have a great day. Thanks. I'll see you in the morning, and God bless all of you. Have a great one.